This is a, what type of neuron is this?
It's a bipolar.
Bipolar neuron, good. Wonderful. So we have some sort of a stimulus, okay? Let's say the stimulus is, I don't know, what's a good stimulus that you want to think about? Heat. Okay, wonderful. So we've got these heat waves, and they're hitting onto our dendrite, okay? Our dendrite is going to feel that change. It's a mechanical change, okay? The waves of heat are a mechanical change. Gates are going to open, okay, to allow for what to enter the cell? No. What type of ion enters the cell when there's a gate open?
Sodium.
Sodium, okay? So you've got these little sodium ions out here. They're going to start entering the cell.
The dendrites? Through the dendrites?
Yep, through the dendrites. Or if the stimulus is hitting here, okay, through the cell body. Okay, so there's positive cells. Normally inside here, it's negative 70 millivolts, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when positive cells come in?
It goes to negative 55.
All right, so if you have enough positive cells coming in and integrating, you're going to go to negative 55. That negative 55 is going to indicate something to this section right here. What's this?
The hillock.
Axon hillock. There's a specific place in the axon hillock. Do you remember what that place is called?
Something.
Anyone?
Trigger zone.
Trigger zone, right. So the trigger zone on the axon hillock itself. Now that negative 55 is going to say, okay, now I can create an action potential. So this all here is gradient potential. Once it gets to that negative 55, it's going to indicate for the trigger zone, okay, we can create an impulse. All the way down this and further is going to be your action potential.
So gradient just happens inside the cell body.
The dendrites and the cell body.
And action potential happens from the hillock to the end of the axon?
Yes. Yep. Okay, so the trigger zone on the axon hillock says, okay, I've got to negative 55. Sodium ions are going to enter the cell, okay, and possibly bring it up to a positive 30 millivolts right here. And then it's going to take that to the next node of Ranvier. We're going to do it on myelin. And over here, gates are going to start opening, and sodium's going to enter the cell and take it to a possible positive 30 millivolts. Once it's done there, it's going to jump over here. It's going to open a gate. Sodium ions are going to enter the cell and possibly bring it to positive 30 millivolts.
So it has to change down every node of Ranvier?
Every node. That's what the conduction was all about.
So where does negative 30 come in?
It doesn't. We never said anything about negative 30.
Ever?
Ever.
Oh.
It's always been plus.
Okay, so maybe take negative 30 and, take it out of your brain, crumple it up and throw it in the garbage.
Okay.
It's not necessary.
Just add positive 30.
It can go up to positive 30, anywhere from that negative 55 up to positive 30. Okay, so this right here, bringing it from the negative 70 to the negative 55 is called depolarization.
Okay.
Bringing it back to the negative 70 and possibly lower is called hyperpolarization.
So when does it hyperpolarize? When it gets to the axon hillock?
Hyperpolarization can happen at either side. Okay, hyperpolarization and gradient potential means that it's going below that negative 70, but it's because there isn't much of a change.
Does it have to hyperpolarize in the gradient potential before
Doesn't
an
have
action potential can start?
Actually, hyperpolarizing will stop an action potential from starting
So, okay.
because it takes it to possibly what, negative 90, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Whereas in here you've got depolarization, repolarization, and after hyperpolarization. Does that make a little bit more sense?
Mm-hmm. So it's going to go from positive 30 all the way down the nodes of Ranvier.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the action is carried through, it'll repolarize.
Once the
to
action is
negative
carried
70.
through here, and it skips over to this part, this will start repolarizing. As soon as it gets over here, this starts repolarizing.
To negative 70, right?
Yeah.
And is it once after everything's done, it'll hyperpolarize?
Nope.
Or I mean after hyperpolarize?
It will hyperpolarize at the same time as it's repolarizing. If it gets to that negative 70 after repolarizing, as soon as it gets there, if it continues to get more negative, if it continues to polarize, then it'll have to hyperpolarize.
But I thought you said if it repolarizes and after hyperpolarizes before it's done sending through, it can stop.
It has to stop things from starting here, but that doesn't mean that down here isn't going to keep going.
So those will stay at positive 30?
Well, once
Like
this
the
one
next-
goes here, this one will go back, repolarize. Once this one goes here, this one will repolarize. Once this one goes to the next one, this one will start repolarizing, and so on and so forth, all the way down the cell. All the way down. It happens in tandem. This doesn't happen and then wait till all these are done to repolarize. It happens in tandem. There is no waiting period there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so then when does after hyperpolarize start?
After hyperpolarizing starts as soon as you get to that negative 70, and if it keeps getting negative. That's after hyperpolarizing.
It's an if? Like
Yeah.
it won't always after hyperpolarize? Okay.
No, it won't always.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody else okay?
Okay.
I actually just have one question. What's the purpose of like an area being hyperpolarized?
Well, in the gradient potential, the purpose of being hyperpolarized is to create an inhibitory response. In the action potential, it happens just because things are moving so fast that it doesn't always get it right the first time, and it has to sort of work with the pump and make sure that it all evens out at some point.
Okay.
Okay? Does that all make sense to you? Does it make sense that through depolarizing, sodium ions are coming in, repolarizing, potassium ions are going out? Is that okay? Okay? Wonderful. Okay, that's one more done.